Which solution do you think does a better carbon cleaning on an engine? CRC or generic brake cleaner? This episode we're going to find out. Right behind me sits my crash damaged 2010 Audi S6 with the 5.2 litre V10 engine that has FSI. The vehicle does need a carbon clean. The vehicle has 138,000 miles and I believe it's never been carbon cleaned. Recommendations for direct port injected engines is between 30 to 50,000 miles. The difference between direct injected and port injected engines is direct injected engines, the injector sits directly in the combustion chamber. Whereby port injected engines, the injector sits inside of the intake manifold. So when the injector sprays on direct injected engines, the fuel goes into the combustion chamber, the valve comes down and some composites or residue gets built up in the inlet valves, which cause some clogging and startup issues, idle issues, that kind of thing. Whereby port injected engines, the fuel gets sprayed from the injector, flows over the inlet valves into the combustion chamber. Therefore, it cleans the inlet valves while it sprays over. So this engine is direct injected. It produces a lot more power than port injected, but it needs a bit of a cleaning. So which solution does a better job? The first test I'm going to try in seeing which solution is best is I've removed these runners that come out of the intake manifold into the intake valves. They do something. They separate the fuel for some reason. So on one side I've got the passenger, and on the other side I have the driver side. This is a V10 engine, therefore there are 5 and 5. On one side I'm going to be using generic brake cleaner, generic brake cleaner for the passenger side, and on the driver side I'm going to be using this, which was highly recommended to me, CRC intake valve and turbo cleaner. Now this stuff is supposed to be spraying in your engine while the engine's running, that kind of thing. I don't have that luxury at the moment. My crash damaged vehicle has been torn apart, so has the engine. If you want to see videos on that, link will be in the description below, or there'll be a little tab icon over here where my finger is. You can click on that and watch the whole series so far. So I'm going to take the passenger side and put it into a plastic container. And you can see the condition of these runners, or separators, whatever they're called. They are horrible. I mean, I doubt this vehicle has ever had this service done in 138,000 miles. And on the driver's side, I'm going to be doing the exact same thing. I mean, just by picking them up, you can see how much dirt is on them. I'm going to be filling up these containers as much as I can with the generic brake parts cleaner. If I can push hard enough, there we go. Woo! The smell! I want to make sure these runners are completely submerged. That looks pretty good. That was about half a can of parts brake cleaner. The driver's side, I'm going to be filling it up with CRC intake valve cleaner. I'll make sure all the parts are completely submerged. Alright, straight away you can see that the color is just so disgusting. So far this is the parts brake cleaner and this is the CRC. It's steaming, it was foaming up while I was spraying it in there, so it seems like it's doing something. There's bubbles that are coming to the surface where the parts brake cleaner doesn't have any bubbles, but I am seeing a lot of debris rising to the surface. Now for this test, I'm going to leave them for 24 hours in these containers and see which one did a better job. Right, so it's been 24 hours. It seems like the brake cleaner has evaporated, but yet the CRC stuff is still full, really black. This is really dark as well, but let's take a look. I'm going to put them on the paper towel and let's do a comparison. Wow, the brake cleaner didn't seem like it did much. I mean, it did evaporate out of the container, but it didn't seem like it did much. It didn't remove a lot of carbon buildup on those spaces or separators, but the CRC, wow, it did a much better job. Take a look. That was caked in carbon. Yes, that side is a little dirty, but that is a big improvement. Now I'm going to do a quick wipe down with some paper towel, shop towel, and let's see how it looks. So first I'm going to do the CRC. Wow, that CRC stuff did really good. Removed a lot of carbon. Ooh hoo hoo. On the brake cleaner side, I mean, I can understand that brake cleaner evaporates very quickly. So maybe that's why the container is all the way down. I don't see any on my table. I believe it just evaporated. It did do a decent job, but not as good as the CRC, I believe. So on this comparison test, I would say the CRC is the winner compared to brake cleaner. Brake cleaner is pretty good, especially if you're going to spray it and then wipe it down straight away. I believe this would be the best. But for long term, I'll go CRC. I mean, I've left these for 24 hours and you can see the difference. CRC for the win. Now the real test is going to see how I can get the rest of the valves looking this good. Especially this one here. So to get to this point here, I've used chemicals, Walnut blaster, a lot of scrubbing, picking, a lot of physical labor to get to this point. So after blowing out the holes of any kind of carbon that was left over, I'm now going to take parts brake cleaner, making sure that the valves are sealed, are closed. I'm going to spray a little bit in there and let them soak or sit for about 5 minutes. Because I want the parts brake cleaner to start breaking apart the carbon. And not too much. Just enough to soak the valves. Oh boy, these have a lot of carbon. Right, I'm going to let them sit for about 5 minutes. Now you take your nylon brush and I'm going to bend it in an angle so I can get behind the valves and give it a really good scrub-a-dub-dub. Now I'm just going to take one of my shop rags and my air compressor tool and blow out the excess brake cleaner fluid. I'm just taking my metal pick and I'm scratching around the valve, loosening up any carbon that I can see, and already I'm seeing a big difference from the brake carb cleaner. This is the manual labor that you have to do. Already I'm seeing big chunks of carbon. I'm just going to blow out the excess carbon that I scratched away. There's some big chunks. Look at that. That's disgusting. Those are big chunks. what you could also do is get a walnut blaster. I believe you can rent one or you can make one like how I did. Link would be in the description below, or there will be a tab on the top right hand corner. I'll show you how I did mine for under $150. But I'm walnut blasting the inside of the valves, get them nice and clean. You don't need to do this step. If you stick with the chemical cleaning, it's going to take hours and hours and hours, but nonetheless, you're going to get a real good finish on your job. Where I'm doing this walnut blasting, as I found it was much quicker, much simpler. Yes, it did cost extra money. I just found it to be a better finish overall. The valves are looking much cleaner now, especially after the walnut blasting. Now what I'm going to do is put CRC inside there, let it soak for 24 hours, come back, blow it out, and rinse and repeat until these become clean, clean, clean. Some people don't like it perfect, I do. But to some shops, that is perfectly acceptable. I'm seeing a little bit of carbon buildup right there, but the CRC should take care of that. Then once I blow it out, that should be job done. So my recommendation of choice would be the CRC. As I said, the brake cleaner does work in the beginning, but then afterwards, I would say the CRC over a 24-hour period, especially soaking, is the clear winner. To do this job, it's taken me hours to do. Don't get me wrong, other vehicles that have kept up with maintenance wouldn't be a problem. This car has 138,000 miles, and I doubt this vehicle and this engine has ever been cleaned, especially the carbon cleaning inside the engine. But I'm getting it done. It looks all nice and clean, besides having a little boo-boo. Would you believe that's from the walnut blaster? It was my mistake. It's a big owie, but I'm a big boy. I'm not gonna cry. But if you guys learned something on this video, give the video a thumbs up. If you guys want to see more on this Audi that I'm rebuilding, especially it being a S6 5.10 liter V10, subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell to keep up to date on this Audi build that I'm doing. I have blood, sweat, and, well, that's not tears, that's blood. But you know what I mean. Guys, thank you very much for watching. Take care.